Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I know on paper and in reality, I upload more videos a day than the algorithm wants to promote. I know, and I've heard for years, and I think 2023, it's never been more true, that if you want the YouTube algorithm to love you, I should actually upload less short videos and more long videos. It's better to upload two 20-minute videos a day than five 4-minute videos. Or even just one 20-minute video over five 4-minute videos. But there's so many different topics that I want to touch on that affect the community. And I would rather do shorter videos that make far less revenue and have less clicks, but that touch on important topics than just choose the ones that are pretty much safely going to make more money. Now, it's a dumb business strategy, but I think it's a good community strategy. And if this was my only source of income, yeah, it would be a lot more tempting to not make videos like this. But this is the kind of video that I think is going to be important for players who are trying to get out of that uncollected or cavalier even space. We have, for those players, a Tier 1 Alpha Catalyst problem. Now, you might hear that and roll your eyes, because Tier 1 Alpha Catalysts only matter to champions up to 5 stars. Now, 5 stars, they matter a lot, because you need 5 to take up a 5-star to the next rank, and that can go from having maxed out Tier 1 Alphas to being out of Tier 1 Alphas very quickly. But part of why we have an issue, and I'm Paragon, obviously, so these crystal results and this Tier 1 Alpha is what inspired this item. I was talking to Katie Candy because she was telling me that her partner has picked up the game and he's having a Tier 1 Alpha problem. And I was thinking, I didn't have a Tier 1 Alpha problem because when I was uncollected, I was doing a lot of map 3 and map 4 of Alliance Quest. And in those Alliance Quest crystals, I was just pumping out Tier 1 Alpha like they were candy. And so I would have 40, 50, 60 in my overflow at one point. That stopped when Alliance Quest crystals disappeared. And on top of that, you still have really pathetic drop rates for Tier 1 Alphas. Not really in that crystal, but check out still the Greater Solo Crystal. They treat Tier 1 Alphas like they're $1 million. The odds, the drop rates of getting a Tier 1 Alpha in these, so pathetic, so small, for something that's really not worth much now in the game. But it's worth enough for Kabam to not tweak the drop rates. They want the economy of the game to be as difficult to master as possible, and so they put the drop rate well under 1%. And by the way, as I say this, my game is frozen. The joys of recording YouTube videos. 1 second. Let's see if sometimes, because some things like to put the FU in fun. Sometimes you have the case where the Oklahoma internet just dies on you in the middle of a video, which is also so much fun. Let me tell you, so much fun. So we have Tier 1 Alphas that people need, but they're just hard to get. So that is motivating maybe to spend units on them. In the rank up store, they're not the cheapest item given what they're worth now. And you don't want to spend units on this, but you're kind of forced to when you're in this position. So Kabam knows exactly what they're doing, and they're still making this item a priority for players that are stuck. And maybe they even have more gold than they need, but not Tier 1 Alpha. So it's a problem that is pretty bizarre, and it's not something that I would have guessed initially. But when you go to rank ups, they're 15 units apiece, but they're worth way less than Tier 4 Basic. The fact that Tier 4 Basic are only 5 units more for me is pretty wild. Speaking of wild, I still miss the accidental leak and or maybe a glitch, though I don't know why that would be the case when Tier 2 Alphas went to 20 units briefly. I do think the next progression title is going to have that price tag for Tier 2 Alpha because they're going to assume that they're exclusively ranking up eventually 7 stars, but 6 stars, especially with Ascension, are always going to remain relevant. So, yes, I know this video is not going to be the main concern or even a top 100 concern for the players at the top of the progression list, but I still wanted to make this for growing players. I appreciate those of you that this impacts, and I try to be your voice as much as being the voice of people who are at the top of this game. And so, thank you for watching. Have a good one.